Start over because you're crazy. Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you all had a great Christmas and New Year's. We are starting a new lesson because obviously Advent and our other lesson is done with. This week is just a 1 week lesson on our words and the power they have. The bottom line this week is pay attention to the power of your words. Wow, that's crazy. That words can have an effect on everything around us, our friends, our family, our coworkers, how people treat us, how people react to what we say. Words have a big impact. This week, our Bible lessons are James 3, 6 through 10, and 17. So I'm going to go ahead and read those. The tongue also is a fire, a world of evil among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole person, sets the whole course of his life on fire, and itself set on fire by hell. All kinds of animal, birds, reptiles, creatures of the sea are being tamed and have been tamed by man. But no man can tame the tongue. It is restless evil, full of dead poison. With the tongue we praise our Lord and Father. With it we curse men, who have made in God's likeness. Out of the same mouth come praise and cursing. My brothers, this should not be. Now this is James 3:17. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, and then peace, loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and full of good fruit, impartial and insincere, or partial and sincere. All right, everyone. Enjoy our feature presentation. See you next week.
Hello, people. Question. Have you ever noticed how much attention words get nowadays? Like, whether it's the words of a politician, did you hear what he or she said? It's the TikToks of a celebrity, the comments of an athlete, or the words someone said in the hallway at school right before they got in trouble, or right before that fight broke out. Whatever the context might be, words are a very big deal. But why is this? I mean, shouldn't we all just lighten up and not take words so seriously? I mean, after all, we have the freedom to say anything we want for the most part, at least depending on where we live. Plus, haven't we all been taught that one line about sticks and stones? How, they can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You ever heard that? No, okay. Well, from the time we were little kids, we were taught that no matter what words are used against us, they cannot hurt us, or maybe they should not hurt us. But if this is true, then why do words still hurt sometimes? At least I know that's been true in my own life. And I'll never forget one quiz I took in Spanish class. Now, it's important to mention that I was a selectively good student, meaning that I wound up with okay grades, but didn't give school the effort or energy it deserved. Anyway, I was in Spanish class one day, and we were in the middle of taking a quiz. Nobody likes a Spanish quiz, right? I wound up finishing mine before some of the rest of the class, and I started doing what I do best, talking. So I'm just talking to my friends that sat around me, people who were done with their quiz as well. And we weren't supposed to be talking, but I figured that if, I whispered, we could get away with it. There's just one problem. I'm not like a good whisperer, okay? I'm a loud human being. And it's just a quiz. It's not like we're taking an exam to determine our fate in Spanish class. Well, according to one of my classmates who was actually interested in getting a good score on this quiz, my talking was apparently frowned upon. So this person did the classic shh move. See, I don't like that, but I wasn't gonna let it faze me. I had to keep talking because we're engaged in a conversation at this point. So I kept talking and this person did it again. Shh. At this point, I'm like, no, okay? If the teacher isn't sending me out of this classroom, you don't get to tell me what to do. But this is probably when I push this person to their limit. I guess my talking voice was a bit distracting in a quiz environment. So this person finally snapped and said, bro, stop, you're so annoying. And that's it. Doesn't seem like a big deal. At this stage of my life right now, I would probably say, you know what, you're totally right. I should be quiet. But I will never forget how I felt in that moment. And I'm not sure why, but I think that person could have picked a lot of other words and it would have hit me differently. But annoying was something I never wanted to be. I wanted to be liked or funny or cool or athletic, but annoying, I really didn't want to jive with that. Like, I can't remember if I had been labeled that when I was younger or that's what my older sisters called me, but that moment brought up all sorts of feelings that I didn't want to face. I realized in that moment that the word annoying, it had some type of strange, weird power in my life. And that moment hurt me really, really bad. In fact, that word stuck with me for a long time. It's like for years, like the word annoying, anytime I heard it, like I would get super defensive about it. I was so self-conscious about what everyone around me thought and might have said. I have even locked up in conversations because I'm insecure about being perceived as annoying. Does this person think I'm being annoying right now? At times, it's actually kept me from showing people my full self because I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to talk your ear off. I don't want to get on your nerves. How can a simple word wind up sticking with a person for years of their life? Well, it's because the reality is words can hurt you. Now, maybe you've been hurt by words far worse than that, not even that big of a deal. Maybe it's not the same exact thing as my story, but deep down there are words that were said to you or about you that bring up all sorts of feelings that you don't necessarily enjoy. And how is this even possible? I mean, seriously, we're talking about words. They aren't living, breathing threats. They are simply words. They cannot physically harm you. They cannot chase you down and beat you up. And some of them don't even have the same meanings in different parts of the world. How can a word truly be a problem? Well, here's the thing. It's not usually words that are the problem. It's the way we use them. See, words in and of themselves don't necessarily have the power to hurt us, not all of them, but the way you and I use words can be really harmful. See, we use words that cut other people down just for the sake of getting a few laughs. Or we crack sexual jokes, or we make degrading comments about someone because it helps us fit in with another group of people. And sometimes those jokes become gossip, and it really is hurtful to someone else. See, we watch people that we look up to use derogatory or hurtful speech, so hey, we think it gives us permission to do the same thing. But in the process, we discover that our words are actually shaping the way we think and feel about other people. And despite the power of words to hurt, there is a flip side. Words have the potential to empower other people and to build them up. Like if you ever received a compliment or an encouraging note and then all of a sudden you stand a little straighter, you're smiling, you're motivated to push forward. See, words can be life-giving. Maybe a text from a friend when you were going through a tough time, or a comment on a test you crushed from your teacher, or a letter from your parent telling you how much you're loved, or an encouraging comment from your small group leader. See, words are really, really powerful. And I don't have to tell you this because you know it firsthand, but words have an impact on us and on other people. Just think about the hurtful impact words have had in our own lives, or the lives of those around us. Words have started conflicts among entire countries. Words have started wars. Words have hurt a lot of feelings. Words have ruined reputations of people. Words have destroyed opportunities for people, gotten people fired. Words have ended relationships in devastating ways. Words have caused people to actually believe their lives are worthless. Words have the potential to do a lot of damage, and they have the potential to build people up. So how can you and I be the kind of people who choose words that build people up and not tear people down? Well, believe it or not, this isn't just a modern day issue. In fact, 2,000 years ago, the damage being done by words still real. Like even without the advancement of social media and TV, YouTube, voice amplification or whatever, words were still powerful back in the day. So much so that some of them have survived for thousands of years for us to read today. And what we're going to look at are the written words of this guy named James. Now, James was the brother of Jesus, who is the central person in the Christian faith. Yes, even Jesus' own brother wound up believing that he was the Son of God, which might just be the most incredible evidence that Jesus is who he says he is, because his physical brother eventually believed in him. Now, after Jesus died and rose again, James decided to write a letter telling people what life was supposed to look like for followers of Jesus. Now, his writing is direct and it's honest and it's challenging in so many ways, and that is for sure how he approached what he had to say about the power of our words. And he starts by using the example of the horse being controlled by the bit in its mouth and a large ship being directed by a small rudder, okay? Now, he just equates this to the power of our tongues. They are such a small part of our bodies, but have the potential to do a lot of damage to our lives and to others. It's like our phones. We carry them with us all the time. They aren't very big, yet they have so much power, okay? And then he goes in on his point. And among all the parts of the body, the tongue is a flame of fire. It is a whole world of wickedness, corrupting your entire body. It can set your whole life on fire, for it is set on fire by hell itself. People can tame all kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, and fish, but no one can tame the tongue. It is restless and evil, full of deadly poison. Sometimes it praises our Lord and Father, and sometimes it curses those who have been made in the image of God. And so blessings and cursing come pouring out of the same mouth. Surely, my brothers and sisters, this is not right. Wow, like James, like that's intense. I mean, this is a bit dramatic, right? I know words are important, but all this talk about setting fires and cursing other people, don't we just need to chill a little bit? And I think James actually meant what he said. Yes, it seems a bit over the top, but maybe it's that way because James wanted us to clearly understand how important and how powerful our words are. James wanted his readers to know for sure, okay, don't miss this, that words are a really powerful weapon. They have the power to destroy things, and they have the power to restore things. They have the power to build up and to tear other people down. They have the power to start a fight and to relieve a tension. They can cause a person to feel like trash or help someone feel like $1 million. Okay, so we get it, right? Words matter. Don't think anybody would disagree with that. But James doesn't necessarily make a very hopeful case. I mean, he literally says that no one can tame the tongue. So does this mean that we're just gonna hurt a lot of people with the use of our words? Does this mean that there's no hope to actually be different than most of the world around us when it comes to what we say? Does it mean that we just have to accept the reality that we'll never get our words right and instead we're just gonna do a lot of damage? I mean, after all, we know it seems impossible to fully control our words. We have all said things we wish we wouldn't have said. We've all regretted things that flew out of our mouths before we could take control. We've all said things that we thought we didn't mean to realize the words might just be a glimpse at an emotion hiding deep inside of us. You and I are not powerful enough to completely overpower our own tongues and our own words. So, do we just accept this as our sad reality? No. See, you and I cannot control the power of our words on our own. But we don't have to try to get this right all by ourselves. See, James knew that words were powerful, but he also knew that we could give control to someone more powerful than even our words. One of James' ancestors, a guy named David, a former king of Israel, wrote about a solution to the tongue's power years before James even warned us about it. David wrote in something he cried out to God that might also be the solution to the problem we're talking about today. David said, "Take control of what I say, O Lord, and guard my lips." This simple sentence, it has significant impact for you and I today. See, David understood something about the power of words. He knew that in order to get what came out of his mouth right, he needed to let go of control. See, the same is true for you and I today. If you want to get this right, it's important that you understand this. Pay attention to the power of your words. Pay attention to the power of your words. And just like David, invite God in to help you control it. See, this is a step we all have to take. According to James, the power of the tongue, it's an untamable force, at least for you and I. But to God, it's just another way he shows how powerful he really is. God wants us to pay attention to the power of our words and the ways in which we use them, and he will give us everything we need to do this. See, look, regardless of whether or not you consider yourself a Christian or a Jesus follower, I think we can all agree that words have the potential to do a lot of damage. So what if God is the key to you and I being able to use the power of our words for something other than hurting people? If he really is the one that can save us from regret caused by using words carelessly, or the hurt caused by us speaking before we think. Wouldn't it be worth it to use the power of our words and the ways that He says are best? If we're going to give this the attention it deserves, what steps can we take? Well, what if we all decided to pay closer attention in 2 ways this week? First, evaluate or take a real look at how you use your words. Take a look at your last 10 texts, DMs, or words you've said out loud and ask yourself, was what I said helpful or hurtful? Were my words an indication of who I hope to be? This question isn't meant to make you feel guilty or down on yourself, but it's so helpful to assess how we use our words. This isn't just about cussing, dirty jokes, gossip, or making fun of other people, although all that's important. I'm not trying to guilt you for what you say. This is more about how you use your words and why you use them the way you do. When you look at what you've said, does it sound like the person God is helping you to become? What are the words you're using saying about who is in control of your tongue? Then, once you've evaluated, I want you to take one more step. Use what God has given you to guard your words. Ask yourself, what has God given me to help me filter my words and give Him control of what I say? Maybe it's implementing a commitment to never comment on a post without pausing and rereading what you've written because God has given you wisdom to filter what you say. Maybe it's deciding to run communication with certain people by your small group leaders first because God has given you people to help you process. Maybe it's deciding never to text angry, but instead to sleep on it. To sleep on what you have to say before you say it, because God has given you the patience you need to process. Whatever helpful tools He's given you to guard your words, use them. God will give you everything you need to use your words the way He says is best. He has put people in your life, tools at your fingertips, and a brain in your head to help you make responsible decisions when it comes to how you use your words. Maybe you're here and you're not sure that you even have tools to help you guard your words. So here's a few ideas to get started. When getting a text message that frustrates you, don't respond right away. Take a few minutes to think through your response, why it's frustrating to you, and then come up with a response after you've calmed down. Ask yourself, does this situation need more words? Does it need me to add to the chaos of the situation? Sometimes less is more. Buy yourself some time to think. You know, it's common to want to snap back at parents and teachers and people at school when we're frustrated. We let emotions take over. Give yourself a few seconds to think through your responses. And get in the habit of encouraging and using your words to build people up. Think about who you can reach out to tonight to just say thank you. Just let them know how much they have impacted your life. Look, you and I won't be perfect with our words. The tongue is pretty powerful. And from time to time, we might slip up and realize that we've gotten out of control. And in those moments, we can be reminded of who needs to be in control and ask Him for forgiveness and help to get our words right the next time. He can also help us find the right words to say when we mess up so that we can approach those that we've hurt in a healthy way. When God takes control of what we say, He helps us lead, restore, apologize, and speak the way that He says is best. We need to pay attention to the power of our words. And imagine if you decided to pay attention to the power of your words. Imagine if you gave God control of what you say. Imagine if you became known as an encouraging, kind, caring person. Who doesn't want that reputation? Like imagine if you use your words differently than most of your peers. People begin to trust you differently and to turn to you to speak truth into their lives. Imagine if your words were used by God to bring hope and healing to another person because you've chosen to give Him control instead of allowing the power of your tongue to run wild and damage others. This is what happens when you pay attention to the power of your words and lean into the ways God wants you to use them. Words are powerful. Let's be people who put that power in its proper place by using them the way God says is best. And as you head out, I want you to think about your response to this question. What is the impact of the words that I normally use? What kind of impact do my words have on the people around me?